Happy Monday, everybody. You know what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk that sports talk. And if you watched some football this weekend, hopefully your team won. And if you didn't watch no football, shame on you. I know I did. I watched them Dallas Cowboys get a mud hole stumped in their ass, 47-9 by the Detroit Lions. And I seen my boy A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back in action. So you know what it is with me. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go. Let's go.
Under the lights, speaking of facts, double the price, yeah. Under the lights, we covering sports, whatever you like, yeah. Home runs in the park, touchdowns in the end zone. Knockouts in the ring, buzzer beater for the win, go hard or go home. Find out who you are when you under the lights. That pressure made a star right there. Under the lights, you looking for the best, tune in to Under the Lights. Yeah, Under the Lights.
Yeah. Welcome back to Under the Lights. I'm your host, Big Mike, and my guy Jordan is not with me today. Once again, I'm solo dolo with y'all. My guy Jordan has got some family things to attend to back at home, you understand? So we might see him Tuesday, maybe Thursday or something like that. But until then, I'm going to hold it down as I always do. You feel me? So hopefully y'all had a great weekend. Hopefully y'all watched some football, as I mentioned before. You understand? For the ones that's watching right now on YouTube, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button so you could be up to date with all things Under the Lights. That means anytime I drop, anytime we drop, you will know what's going on with Under the Lights. You understand? For the listeners right now that's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, appreciate you and thank you as well for the downloads. Keep downloading. We see it. You know what I'm saying? So we really do appreciate it. You understand? Oh, man. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Listen, yesterday for me was a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. You understand? I mean, my Philadelphia Eagles, we finally got off the schneid. You know, we went into the bye week last week. We was 2-2. We went into the bye week. You know what I mean? We came back and got a dub yesterday against the Browns. And most of all, you know what I mean? I was feeling good. But when I seen the Dallas Cowboys get done the way they got done, 47-9, I was great. I was great. You understand? So let me go ahead and get into these sports. I don't want to waste no more of y'all time. We're going to go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, my Philadelphia Eagles against the Cleveland Browns yesterday in Philadelphia got a dub 20-16. 20-16. The Browns are in a downward spiral. They're in a downward spiral, you know what I mean? And it sucks for them. Ain't nobody feeling bad for them. I know I damn sure not. I wanted to whoop their ass, you know what I mean? I wish we could have scored more, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts on this performance? Let me give you my thoughts. My thoughts is this. Listen, it wasn't a great win. A great win is putting up more points to me, you know what I mean, in this game, considering, you know what I mean, the Browns are who they are, you know what I mean, but it was a good win. 20-16. And listen, the game, it wasn't really like a close ball game. The defense gave up 0 touchdowns. They gave up a donut for touchdowns. You know what I mean? They held them to 3 field goals for the Browns offense, 3 field goals. The one touchdown they did get, it came from a block punt by Myles Garrett. It was not a block punt, a block field goal. I'm sorry. A block field goal by Myles Garrett and Rodney McLeod. He used to play for the Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with us back in the 17-18 season. He picked it up and he took it back for a touchdown. So we really keep it looking at, you know what I mean? And I'm assuming the great kicker that Jake Elliott is, you know what I mean? I'm assuming, you know, he makes that field goal. So we're looking at a 23-9 ball game if it wasn't for that. So like I said, props to the defense. They stepped up the entire game and played well. They didn't give up, you know, like I said, 3 field goals. That's all that they got. Like I said, I wish we could have scored more, but the Browns defense played well. The Browns still are a defensive-led football team. You understand what I'm saying? They got players out there. They was able to shut down the run yesterday. They held Saquon to 47 yards on 18 carries. You know what I mean? So they played the third down very, very well. I think we was 5 of 14 on third down. So their defense was flying around. You know, they are 8th in pass defense. You know what I mean? They got really good cover corners out there, in Greg Emerson, Martin Newsom, and Denzel Ward. Them boys can really one-on-one cover, can really play press man, zone coverage. They can really hold their own out there. So it wasn't going to be a whole lot of openings, for a bunch of guys or whatever the case may be. And I'm going to tell you something right now. They also got, Myles Garrett on their front line who can get after you. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. You got Zadarius Smith on the other side, and you got an all-pro linebacker in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, a.k.a. J.O.K. We call him J.O.K. because his name is so long, and some people, they probably can't pronounce it. But they got those guys out there that can make it tough for you as well. But I'm going to tell you something, though. If we didn't have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown again this game, we would be screwed again. We would be screwed again, and we would have lost this game again. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when people say injuries don't matter, you sound stupid. You sound ignorant. And the next man up thing is basically, the game doesn't stop. We're not going to, because this guy got hurt, the game doesn't stop. The next man has to play. That doesn't mean that the next man up is going to be able to fulfill A.J. Brown's shoes, Devontae Smith's shoes. We talking about superstar, big-time receivers here. They are 61% of the Eagles' offensive receiving yards. They're 61% of that. So to say Jahan Dotson and John Ross, who was just on the couch, or Johnny Wilson, who you still don't know yet, is supposed to come in and take the reins of that, it's just not true. So the next man up thing, I get it. The game must go on, but let's just be realistic here. Those are reasons you will lose a game. And if we didn't have those 6 receptions for 116 yards and a touchdown by A.J. Brown yesterday, he made a big play at the end of the game as well to seal it for 40 yards to seal the game. You know what I mean? And if we didn't have those 3 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown by Devontae Smith, the big plays that they were making, bro, we would have lost the game. It's like we probably could have lost. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, no, we would have lost the game because I'm looking at if they didn't block the field goal, it would have only had 9 points. Well, in all actuality, they had 16 points. So we would have lost that game if Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown were not there, because Jahan Dotson hasn't showed you he can go out there and get open and help us get downfield and to go get a touchdown. He hasn't shown you big playability like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. You know what I'm saying? Dallas Goedert, he went out in the game with a hamstring injury. Boom. So that's another target that would have been gone had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith not been there. You know what I mean? So I'm glad we got those guys back. Those guys back. You feel me? Because it makes a difference. I wish we could have started out faster on offense. We still have yet to score a touchdown or any points in the first quarter. So we still, I wish we could have got off to a faster start. Jalen Hurts, he got off to an 0-5 start. But after that, he was consistent and picked up steam the rest of the game. You feel me? We didn't score any points until our 3rd drive, and that was a field goal. I mentioned the slow starts. And then the very next possession, on the 4th possession, we scored a touchdown. That was an 84-yard drive on 10 plays, and Jalen Hurts had to throw and catch to A.J. Brown for 22 yards in the corner of the end zone. You know what I mean? I wish we could have scored more, wish we could have got out to a faster start. But, hey, this is our first game back, with our team being whole offensively. You know what I mean? And really, it still wasn't whole offensively because Dallas Goedert, boom, we know what he's been providing for us when A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith was out. Remember against the Saints, he had 10 catches for 170 yards. The game right after that, I think he had another 7 catches for 65 yards. You know what I'm saying? So he's been doing good and trying to fill in the gaps. You know what I mean? When A.J. and Devontae were out. But like I said, he went out with a hamstring injury, and our left tackle, Jordan Mailata, Jalen Hurts' blind side, left out of the game with a hamstring injury. So hopefully they'll be back. You know what I mean? And I mentioned, guys, coming back, Lane Johnson, who I'm big on. Lane Johnson, he was back for the first time. Lane Johnson is to the Eagles what Trent Williams is to the San Francisco 49ers offensive line. You remember last year when Trent Williams had some time out, it was like, oh, well, we ain't got Trent Williams. And they was making a big deal about that, right? Same thing with Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson is a right tackle. Trent Williams is a left tackle. Trent Williams could go, a year or 2 or more without, a sack. Lane Johnson went 2.5, almost 3 years without giving up a sack. And yesterday he was out there for the whole game on those 28 pass snaps, and he had 0 QB pressures, 0 QB hits, and 0 QB sacks from his side on the right tackle side. That's what he can do for us. You understand? Jalen Hurts, he took what the defense gave him. I mentioned, the Browns are still a good team defensively. They still can get after your quarterback. I mentioned those guys. They still can do that. So you took what the defense gave him. You know what I mean? It wasn't a whole lot of openings out there. He made plays with his legs when it was need to. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. He made the right plays. He only gave up 1 sack, and that sack was from a half-ass block from Saquon Barkley. JOK, the all-pro linebacker, he was coming off the edge, and instead of hitting him with using his hands and using his body and his hands, he tried to hit him with his shoulder. You're not going to block JOK like that. That's a linebacker coming full speed from here. You're going to have to get more than a shoulder on that man, and that's how that sack was given up. You feel me? So Jalen Hurts, I said before, I wanted to see a clean game, and he gave me that. 16 of 25, 264 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he sealed the game with the throw and catch, to A.J. Brown, 40 yards downfield. And we could have won. It was a minute and 40-something seconds left. The Browns only had one timeout. We could have easily punched the ball into the end zone and made it 27-16, but you're not going to do that in the NFL and risk any chances of fumbling the snap or anything, center quarterback exchange. So we down the ball, so the game could have been a little worse, you feel me? But like I said, coming into this game, if y'all watched the show this past Friday, I said I want to see a clean game from Jalen Hurts. I want to see no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles, I'm talking no nothing. And he did that, bro. And it was, I didn't even want to see one of those almost interceptions. Now, you know how you throw it, you know what I mean, in the corner, or the DB or whoever it is, it's in his hands, but he drop it, or you're like, whoo, man, we dodged that one right there. I didn't want to see none of that. And he gave us none of that. You know what I mean? So that's right there is a step in the right direction. And he's taking accountability for the turnovers. He's already done that and been doing that. And he's done it even more in the bye week. He talked about that. He paid attention to detail, and that was the main focus. And because that can turn the game. That can turn everybody's perception of you. You know what I mean? You could be a good quarterback, make the right throws, this, that, the third, but as soon as they see you start, turning the ball over, and whether it's a tip pass or not, like I said, last year, 5 times on the Eagles on my team, Jalen Hurts put it right in their hand. Put it right in their hand. You know what I'm saying? They caught it, got hit, ball went up, and it was an interception. You understand what I'm saying? Shit happens like that. But there was no, he didn't put the ball in harm's way. It was a total clean football game. And that's what I wanted most of all. Obviously, I wanted to win. But right next to that, bro, I wanted to win, and then I wanted no turnovers. And if it was any turnovers, I didn't want them from Jalen Hurts. I just did not. You understand? But the little things that we got to work on, just basing it off this week, the little things is that, the block field goal, Myles Garrett came right up the middle, like somebody just opened the door and said, "Here, come on in, get this ball." That's what it looked like. You feel me? That missed block from Saquon on JOK, got to clean it up. Got to get your hands on him. I know they'll see that in film, and he going to be like, man, I got to get my hands on that guy. Cool. You got to do that. We missed 2 blocks on Myles Garrett. 2 blocks, and they were both for tackle for losses. You know what I mean? That stuff like that, they had effect on the game, because I think one of those was on 3rd down. It was 4th down. We had to punt the ball. You feel me? And false starts. It was one that was 3rd and 7. It could have been 3rd and 2, and another one was just like that as well. You know what I mean? So like little self-inflicted wounds like that, things you got to clean up. I think we can go out here and win games, you know what I mean, as long as we don't turn the ball over and we be sound on defense. You feel me? Got to be able to get stops. Now, this is the Browns. The Browns are in a downward spiral. I'm not coming out here like, oh, yeah, we beat the Browns. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, for my team, this was a step. It's a step in the right direction. No turnovers. You know what I mean? We just got A.J. Brown, Devontae, and Lane Johnson back. And listen, like I mentioned, 61% of the receiving yards is A.J. and Devontae. When Lane Johnson plays, we win 62% of our games. When he doesn't play, we win only 38% of our ball games. We had them all together yesterday. We got a dub. The defense was solid. It was solid the entire game. It was a stretch where Deshaun Watson was like 11 of 11 for like over 100 yards. Yeah, he was making some throws and shit like that later on in the game. It was like 4:20 left in the game. So at the 4:20 mark left in the game, those 11 throws prior, you know what I mean? Those 11 throws up until, you know, the 4:20 mark, he was 100%. It was over 100 yards. But the defense only gave him 46 yards in the first half passing. So he finished with 168 yards. So he put up 46 yards in the first half and then 122 yards in the second half. You know what I mean? So little stuff like that got to clean up. You know what I mean? Got to be able to get, you know, we had 5-6 sacks yesterday, was able to get to him. But the Browns is the most sacked team in the league. So I'm not beating my chest about that. I'm just glad we went out there and got a dub. It was a clean game, and we can build off this and get right. We got the Giants next. This was a get right game for us, and the Giants next is a get better game for us. You know what I mean? That's what it should be. So those two teams are not no two teams that we're going to be looking at playoff contention, things like that. So we should go out there and get a dub and keep building off this week, and then the weeks afterwards. So shout out to my Eagles. You know what it is for me. We fly, Eagles fly all day long. Fly, Eagles fly. Them bad boys. You understand? So, moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowmano boys is what I call them. Man, let me tell you something. The Dallas Cowboys got their ass ran yesterday, right? 47-9 by the Detroit Lions. It was a demolition. In Jerry World. You understand? Oh, my God. Did y'all see that game? It was on Jerry Jones' birthday as well. The man turned 82 years old. 82. And all them fans out there crying, the kids crying, adults crying, everything else. Everything but winning. And getting blown out on your own home field. In front of what, 90, 100,000 people? You understand? You know their fan base goes all over the world. They're the most, the highest, the most valuable team in all of sports. They worth the most money in all the sports. Soccer, everything. They worth the most money. And that's how they go out there and get ran. With a $60 million quarterback. And a receiver that's supposed to be top tier as well. You know what I mean? So, as I mentioned, the Detroit Lions went out there and handled business and beat the Cowboys 47-9 in Jerry World. You understand? Listen, give me your thoughts on this performance. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do right now. Man, listen, the Lions look for real. They look for real. They bullied the Cowboys from start to finish. Not in between, not a little bit here, not a little, they did, no. It was a demolition from beginning to end, from the first drive all the way to the rest of the game. You understand what I'm saying? That offensive line is physical. They can run block physically. They can pass protect. Their offense is potent. Their offense is potent. And that running back duo that they got, Gibbs and Montgomery, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, they are second to none in the NFL. You feel me? The defense can make you uncomfortable. They can get to your quarterback, make you run all over the place. They put pressure on Dak Prescott. They sacked him and hit him all day long. They got absolutely manhandled again, just like the Saints did their ass, 44-19 on their own home field and put 190 yards on the ground. Just like the Ravens did in Jerry World the week before last, and they beat y'all ass 28-23 and ran for 274 yards on the ground. You understand? And the Lions did it again yesterday. They had 174 team rushing yards on the ground, and Jared Goff was 18-25 with 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ran y'all ass, and y'all be doing all this talking. You understand? This was a Dak Prescott special as well. This was a Dak Prescott special. You know, listen, they was getting blown out, missing throws, throwing interceptions all over the place. Like, well, this is what Dak Prescott does when the big games is on the line against the good teams. This is what Dak Prescott be doing, and I'm really kind of shocked. I'm really kind of shocked because, you know, this is one of those games where Dak Prescott, you know how they be down 2 possessions or 3 possessions, and then all you can do is throw, and then you look up and Dak Prescott, oh my God, Dak Prescott threw for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns and no, they didn't do that. The Detroit Lions didn't allow it, It didn't matter. They didn't allow that. They kept their foot on their goddamn neck. They didn't allow none of that shit. They remember last season when y'all screwed them and the referees was on y'all side and tried to say the lineman didn't report when he clearly reported all on camera, but the referee was in Jerry Jones' pocket, so they went ahead and tucked it and blew the whistle and made the Lions lose the game. They remembered that shit. They kept running the score up and on them fucking bums, and that's exactly what they did. 47-9 when the starters went out of the game. 47, almost 50. And this is in Jerry Ward on Jerry Jones' birthday, his 82nd birthday at that. Y'all almost did that man to the morgue. Y'all know he ain't got much longer. Y'all almost sent him to the ICU. He damn near about to be on hospice up here in the owner's suite. That's how y'all repay that man. You got a $60 million quarterback and a $100 million receiver. Are you kidding me? Man, listen, and I don't want to hear nothing about Micah Parsons not being there and DeMarcus Lawrence not being there. I'm going to give you two reasons why I say I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit for two reasons. The first reason is this. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence was out there when the Saints came into town and marched all in the end zone on their ass, and Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns. The Saints went marching all in that motherfucker. All that. Just marched all in the end zone on their ass for 190 yards on the ground. Derek Carr out there looking like a Hall of Famer and shit. Yeah, they was out there, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. That's reason number one. Reason number two, those same two guys was out there when Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens came in there and rushed the ball for 274 yards on the ground. They was there. They didn't stop them then. They didn't stop them back then. They didn't stop nobody. And listen, you thought they was going to stop the motherfucking Lions? With Gibbs and Montgomery? Huh? With Jameson Williams? Huh? Amara St. Brown? Huh? And Laporta? Are you kidding me? No, you're not. And that physical offensive line? Oh, and before Aiden Hutchinson even got hurt, he had 2 sacks. He was on y'all ass. Y'all wasn't doing nothing. So those two, I don't want to hear nothing about Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence not being there, as if they were there, they were going to be the difference makers in this ball game. So where was DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons? Well, how much was the lead? What would the score have been if Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence was there? What would it have been? What? Because the offense didn't score nothing. So what? You tell me they would have scored what? 1 touchdown less? 2 touchdowns less? Which one? Which one? If we take 14 points off of the 47, what are we looking at? 33? So 33-9. That's a blowout. That's a blowout. What are we talking about? I don't want to hear nothing about the Dallas Cowboys not having those boys out there because they haven't done nothing anyway. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't want to hear the Cowboys always beat the bad teams and they lose to the good teams. The wins they had this year are against the Cleveland Browns. They're 1-5. We see what they're looking like. They're in a downward spiral. The Giants, we seen them on full display last night. They are terrible. They're 2-4. They beat the Steelers. You know what? I'll give him a little credit. I'll give him credit for that win. Being that Dak Prescott, he led him all the way downfield at the end of the game, and he put the ball in the end zone. So I give them credit for that one. Kudos to them. And the L's that they got is to the Saints. At that time, we thought the Saints was a good. I said on the show, I think the Saints will probably be good. I don't think they 47. You know, they started the season putting up 47 and 44 points. You know what I mean? I said, I don't think they're 47 and 44 points good. I think they'll probably be a good team. They can compete in the NFC South. But other than that, I don't think they're going to do nothing. Well, they're 2-4. We see what's going on with them. They're in the downward spiral. They lost to them. They lost to the Ravens, who is a good team. They're on a 4-game win streak, and they got their ass absolutely obliterated by the Detroit Lions. Absolutely obliterated. So when it comes to the good teams, bro, they don't beat them. And then you got the Cowboy fans there telling me, we beat y'all. Nigga, it's a division game. If beating us, you know what I mean, is your measuring stick in the division games, then that just go to show the competitive nature for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a division game. Anybody can beat anybody in a division. We just seen the Cardinals beat the motherfucking the San Francisco 49ers in a division. We seen the Rams beat the 49ers without Puka Nacua, without Cooper Kupp, without a full offensive line and players out in the secondary. And they had a 10-point lead. How many times have we seen the Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots back in their heyday, you know what I mean, when Miami was trash? I don't care about so what? That's not a measuring stick game. You feel me? So the Lions, they got plenty of weapons to really like go out there and dismantle a team. Dismantle a football team and move men against their will. Physical on both sides of the football. They are going to run that football until they cannot run that football anymore. Get your linebackers to come up. Jared Goff, just don't turn the ball over, hit the open man, and they were open. You understand me? They look like the best team in the NFC. And I know the Minnesota Vikings are 5-0. I know they 5-0, and I think they play each other this week or next week coming up. I think they do. So that's going to be an exciting game to see. You know what I mean? But the Detroit Lions look very potent. They make you defend every inch of the football field. And the Cowboys just got completely just manhandled, out-physicaled, beat up, punked, hold, bitched, everything. Anything in the fucking dictionary or the English literature. You know what I mean? That means punked, beat up, hold, bitched. That's what they got yesterday. And it was on full display on the 82nd birthday of Jerry Jones. I'm surprised we didn't get breaking news he was going to the hospital. I'm surprised he didn't get breaking news, you understand? Hey, and another thing, y'all remember what was a couple weeks ago when Dak Prescott said, whoever you want to jump off now. After they lost the game, I think when they lost to the Saints, if you want to jump off, basically saying if you want to jump off the bandwagon, go ahead, jump off now. Boy, they abandoned the ship. They are abandoning the ship. I'm telling you right there, they on the hey, abandon ship. Jump ship. We are sinking. We cannot protect you. Your lifeguard jacket is under your seat or it's in the closet. Grab it, tie it tight, and jump ship. Abandon ship. That's what they doing in Dallas. So listen, if you're in the Dallas area, Fort Worth area, or the Arlington, Texas area, and you can walk, you know what I mean? You can walk. Go to practice. Show up to practice because Jerry Jones is looking for some people that want to play football. Because the Dallas Cowboys out there right now, they don't want to play no football. They soft. They look weak. They're mentally done. It's over. They look terrible. And once again, they're overrated. They're not about to do shit. It is what it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's all I can say to that. That's all I can say to that. You understand me? I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all know this, and I love when they lose. This was a holiday for me. I might put some, you know what? I might put some on the grill today, too. I might put some on the grill today. You understand what I'm saying? That's how good I'm feeling about the Dallas Cowboys getting blown the hell out by the Detroit Lions. Thank you, Detroit Lions. You know what else? The highlight of the Dallas Cowboys game was that 79-yard kickoff return by Turpin. They special the kick return to Turpin, number 9. You know, that was the highlight of their night. Other than that, those 9 points, what was the highlight of that? You seen the first drive, they was all loud. Got 3 points. Detroit said, okay, I'm going to shut y'all asses up. 7 points, we gone. Moving on. Next. Easily. You understand? So I'm glad the Cowboys lost. Shout to the Detroit Lions for making my Sunday a beautiful, great Sunday. Shout to you. So, moving on. We mentioned the Detroit Lions, and unfortunately, they are losing their best player, if not on the team, but most definitely their best player defensive-wise. You understand that we're talking about Aiden Hutchinson. They didn't show the replay yesterday, but if you just watching the game and seeing what happened, you know what I'm saying? He was sacking Dak Prescott. He was sacking Dak Prescott, and his legs was in the air. And I'm assuming when his legs was coming this way, it collided with somebody else's, and they said that his leg had, went opposite ways. So they didn't want to show it. You feel what I'm saying? And you can see, if you was watching the game, you see when he was like, I broke it. That's what he said. You understand? So how much can this affect the Detroit Lions as a team and their defense moving forward? Listen, bro, I think it could affect them. He's a huge piece that's gone. Right? I'm not the guy that's going to say injuries don't matter. When you got a guy like Aiden Hutchinson who had 6.5 sacks coming in to this week, they had a bye week last week. Let's make this clear. They had a bye week last week. And coming into this week, he had 6.5 sacks. And he was leading the NFL in sacks while having a bye week last week. It's teams that haven't had a bye week yet. and he was leading the league in sacks. And before he got hurt, he had another sack. I want to say he had two. I think he had another sack before he got hurt. He had another sack. And it ain't just the sacks, bro. It's the pressure that he applies. Because just because you don't get a sack, that doesn't mean you're not doing your job. It's about making that quarterback get uncomfortable. It's also about making that quarterback get rid of the ball when he doesn't want to. It's about getting to that quarterback, tapping him on that shoulder, letting him know, I'm right here. You better hurry up and get rid of that ball. It's about hitting that. It's about getting to that quarterback and hitting that arm, causing a forced fumble. You know what I'm saying? He does all of that. Aiden Hutchinson is the epitome. Like if you want to look at what the Detroit Lions defense is, you look at Aiden Hutchinson, because he is to the Detroit Lions what TJ Watt is to the Steelers. You understand? They're a playmaker on defense. They're game breaker. They're game changer. When you need a play, Aiden Hutchinson is doing that. He was definitely on his way leading, for defensive player of the year type shit. You know what I mean? And I didn't see any slowing down, because he was leading the league in sacks, even with having a bye week. So this could definitely affect their pass rush tremendously, because now that's the guy that you would that's the guy that you would double team and make and he can still get money on you. Or, they're going to bring the blitz and it could cause a one-on-one. You understand what I'm saying? But he's the guy that can wreck your game. So now who is their game wrecker? Their game wrecker on the defensive line, like an Aiden Hutchinson. There is none of that. You know what I mean? The linebacker core is good. The defensive backs are physical. They get a little handsy at times. You know what I'm saying? But now I think we're going to see it's either they're going to have to blitz more, or if not, we're not going to see as much QB pressure from a certain side, wherever side Aiden Hutchinson decides to line up. So I think this could take a hit for them, but I think they're potent enough on offense. I think they're potent enough on offense to still go out there and take time off the clock, because they run the ball first. So they could take time off the clock. They still got, listen, Jameson Williams, I know all about him. I'm an Alabama fan. He's from Alabama. Know all about him. Amara St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs, and Montgomery. That offensive line, I think they'll still be fine. I think they probably still are, me personally, I think they're probably still one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. If we talking with Aiden Hutchinson being out, I would have him at the number one spot, right? But with him being out and he's going to be gone for the rest of the season, that would probably bump them down a notch for me as probably the most powerful, because he's gone. You know what I'm saying? But I think, they'll still be fine offensively and even defensively. I think they'll be okay. You may not see as much sacks, but you might see more blitzing from the linebackers, or blitz packages from, zero blitzes or safety blitzes or zone blitzes or whatever the case may be. They're going to have to do something to, keep that pressure on the opposing team's quarterback, because that's where it starts at on the defense for the Detroit Lions. So will it be how much would it affect them? Still a playoff team. I think they're a team that can still go out here, and make an NFC championship run, if not the Super Bowl. That's how strong and potent and powerful that the Detroit Lions looked. And to keep in mind, like this past offseason, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't lose anybody. They only gained players. They gained players. You feel what I'm saying? So, they are primed and ready to make a Super Bowl or NFC championship run at minimum. At minimum, NFC championship run. And I stand on that. You know what I mean? So, kudos to the Lions. They've been down for a long time. They're not sneaking up on you no more. It's not the Lions. They're here. They are here. They was there, you know what I mean? They was there some last year, but they've got better this year. So they are here now. And I think they're the most powerful team in the NFC. Like I said, I know the Vikings are 5-0, but they got the Vikings coming up next week. And we will see. We will see how this plays out. And we also get to see how much of a difference it is with Aiden Hutchinson not being on the field. So we'll see how that works out for the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? So moving on to the AFC. We had a big game in the AFC, man. The Ravens and the Commanders. Where the Ravens got a win 30-23 in Baltimore. They are now on a 4-game win streak. And they beat the Commanders yesterday with Jaden Daniels having a good game, Lamar Jackson having a good game, Derrick Henry, who I think is in the MVP conversation when it comes to this stuff. Man, I think he's, been just lighting it up this season. My guy Jordan had Lamar Jackson at number 2 in his MVP race. I didn't have Lamar Jackson up there. I had Derrick Henry in front of him at 3, then Lamar at 4 because of the way Derrick Henry had the 199-yard game. He, MVP is about moments too. He broke the game open against the Bills, 87-yard touchdown, the first play for scrimmage. Boom. Ended that game with 199 yards. Followed it with another 151-yard gains and 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys. And then followed it up with a 15-yard, only 15 carries, 92 yards against the Bengals, and sealed the overtime touchdown. Sealed the game with the big run in overtime and put them in position to go make a field goal. Game over. You know what I mean? So, and look, you look at his performance yesterday. Another 24 carries, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You feel me? So that's why I got him above Lamar Jackson as MVP. But if we are going to speak on this, you know what I mean, just to talk about how impressive was this performance from the Baltimore Ravens, you know what I mean? It was an impressive performance, you know what I mean? I said I wanted to see the Commanders against a good team before I say, because they played mediocrity. You know what I mean? They played the Bengals, they played the Giants and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So that's not really a test, you feel me? But I wanted to see them against a good team, and they looked pretty good. Even though Baltimore's defense is not what it once was, their rush defense is. The rush defense is there. You know what I mean? Lamar Jackson, 20 of 26, very efficient yesterday, 323 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. The interception that he threw, it was just too wide. You know what I mean? He didn't hit his tight end in the numbers. He stretched it too far. You know what I mean? And it hit the tip of his fingers, and it bounced into the defender's hands of the Commanders. But they didn't score off of that. I don't think they got no points off of that. You know what I mean? But it didn't affect the game. I'm sorry. It didn't affect the game because obviously they still won the game. You feel me? The performance wise, like I said, the Ravens, man, they got a pretty good team. The defense is not what it once was, but they can go out there and get stops. They made the Commanders one-dimensional. You know what I mean? Obviously, they don't have no Brian Robinson. That's their every down back. Big guy. Austin Eckler is good, but he's not an every down back. He's too small to go out there and carry the load. He's more so in the passing game. That's where he gets his money at. And this game was it was a back and forth ball game. It was one of those games like, okay, you punt, I'm a punt. You get a field goal, well, I get a field goal. You get a touchdown, we get a touchdown. You do it, I do it. It's like monkey see, monkey do, right? You know what I mean? But the turning point in this game was, it was a 17-10 ball game, right? Washington get their field goal blocked. It could have been 17-13. They get the field goal blocked. Boom, watch this. Then they go to halftime, come back, they kick a field goal, they put them points on the board. So we're looking at a game that could have been 17-16, right? Now, 17-13 ball game, Baltimore, they go get a field goal, and then Washington, they in the game. All you got to do is go down there and score, right? They punt, Baltimore gets the ball, and they cash in for a touchdown. Makes it 27-13, and they couldn't recover from that. They just couldn't recover from being down 2 touchdowns. Neither defense could necessarily just stone cold stop each other. You know what I mean? But Baltimore's defense got the stops when needed. What I told my guy Jordan is this: they don't have this season. It's not the ability to just, look like last year when they just swarming a quarterback. I think they had 60 sacks last year. You know what I mean? So they don't have that type of defense to where they can just shut your quarterback down and, but they can still shut your run game down. They still haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher yet against their team. So they don't have that, but they have the players out there. When it's time to make a play, they can go out there. They can go out there and get it done. And that was the difference in yesterday. But I think like this, though, man. if the Commanders were able to get the run going, if it wasn't one dimensional, like I said, Brian Robinson didn't play. Austin Eckler, he's not an every down back. I think it could have been a different game. You know what I mean? So so it was an impressive win. I think the Commanders are a good team. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to NFC Championship and things like that, but they have a favorable schedule to possibly get into the playoffs. You feel what I'm saying? They got the Panthers next. They got the Bears, who look good against the Jags, albeit the Jags, but they look good. Caleb Williams, that's his second game in a row that he's balled out. Second game in a row. And if he continue to play like this, I said that I don't think he'll be able to pass Jaden Daniels for, offensive rookie of the year. But if he's going to be playing like this and they're going to be winning games or whatever the case may be, right now I think he's ingratiated himself into that rookie of the year discussion. Last week he played a good game. This week he played a good game. I think Jaden Daniels is still up here, obviously, but now Caleb Williams, all I'm saying is that his stock has risen a little bit too. It's risen a little bit. It's not flat down here no more, right? It has risen some. So if Jaden Daniels still is balling out the way he's balling out, and he balled out yesterday, bro. He was 24 of 35 with 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mentioned they couldn't get the run game going. He only had 22 yards rushing, which led the team in rushing. Austin Eckler was next with 21 yards, and he's the running back. You know what I mean? But if he keep playing Caleb Williams the way he does, man, I think he's going to, his stock will keep rising, and it could possibly turn into a battle. You know what I mean? But obviously, Jaden Daniels would have to fall off a little bit. And the team only had 52 yards rushing total yesterday. So, and I'm really impressed with Jaden Daniels this game because, even though they lost in the NFL, bro, we all know that if you become one-dimensional, you know what I mean, or even in anything, in basketball, if you can only shoot threes and you're not shooting threes well this game and you don't have no post game, you don't got no guy that can penetrate the lane, all you do is shoot threes and you can't get that going, it's over. Being that the Commanders were one-dimensional yesterday and they were within a couple plays of winning this game or tying this game, that says a lot about Jaden Daniels' play, man, because they didn't have a run game yesterday. The Ravens put up over 170 yards on the ground alone. You know what I mean? So they had that extra oomph, that extra push. You feel me? So shout to the Ravens. They on a 4-game win streak. Shout to the Commanders. Even though they lost, they still look good. They're a good team. You know what I mean? And shit. We'll see what's next to come for them. I mentioned they got the Panthers, the Bears, and then they got the Giants, the Steelers. They got us, the Eagles, twice, and they got the Cowboys twice. So they got a favorable schedule with the Panthers, the Bears, the Giants. You know what I mean? They might be able to make a playoff push. You know what I'm saying? I think we could get them twice. That's just me. I think we've been picked up enough steam. Hopefully our players just in the game. You know what I mean? We get to build some shit. Like I said, I mentioned A.J. Brown, Devontae Lane just got back. So, A.J. Brown, this is his second game playing this season. So hopefully by then, we can build some continuity. We on a different wavelength and we look good. We look potent. You know what I mean? We can go out there and get some dubs and, to not get the number one spot in the NFC East and then win the division and go to the playoffs. But big ups to the Commanders and the Ravens for being on the 4-game win streak. I know my guy Jordan is happy about that. Shout out to my guy Jordan too. You know what it is, boy. Okay. So now, sticking with the NFL. Now, in the beginning of this season, we was looking at the teams, looking at the divisions and things like that, right? And we automatically said, oh, man, the AFC North is the toughest division in football. That's the toughest division in football. You know what I mean? They had the Ravens. We was assuming the Browns was going to be nice. The Bengals, I had the Bengals finishing last, you know what I'm saying? And then you had the Steelers, right? But it ain't looking like it's as powerful as it seemed on paper, right? So the question is the AFC North still the toughest division in the NFL? And I'm going to tell you right now, no, it's not. It's not. When you look at the Browns, bro, they are on a downward spiral. Like I mentioned, you got the Browns, Steelers, Ravens, and the Bengals. The Browns are on a downward spiral, but they 1-5. The Cincinnati Bengals, look, they 2-4. They beat the Giants last night, right? I mentioned their defense is just too terrible. Joe Burrow has to be damn near perfect. He got to be on Jesus time, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and win games. You got to be damn near perfect. You seen last night, Joe Burrow had to run for he scrambled for like a 50-yard touchdown run. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we don't see Joe Burrow doing that shit. They couldn't get none going all game long. You know what I'm saying? And this is the Giants we talking about. You feel me? And then you got the Steelers and the Ravens. So I think the Steelers and the Ravens are the only two teams that's really like formidable right now. You can't, even though you might say, man, the Bengals, man, they were one. Look at how they lost the Bengals, the Chiefs game against the Chiefs. Look how they lost the game against the Ravens with the field goal with the holder, you know, mishandling the hold. You know what I'm saying? And McPherson, he's a damn good kicker. Damn good kicker. He can make that. And he was 100% making field goals that way. You feel me? The way that they was kicking in that game. You ain't look at that and be like, man, they could easily be, 4-2. They could easily be, 5-1, whatever the case may be, right? But unfortunately, that's not what it is. So we're looking at, teams that look real good. They look strong offensively, defensively, can get stops, can go down the field, move the ball, put points on the board. I got to go with the NFC North, man. Yeah, the NFC North. Obviously, you got the Vikings. They undefeated at 5-0. Offensively, we see what Sam Darnold is doing. He's got 11 touchdowns, over 11 or more touchdowns, over 1,100 yards, only 4 interceptions. We know how he's playing this season. He's playing well. People are starting to see Sam Darnold for what he is. They remember Sam Darnold for being with the Jets. Well, the Jets didn't have no team back then. I don't know what you expect a quarterback to do when they ain't got no real weapons out here. The Jets organization back then was absolutely terrible, man. You're not going to see the quarterback at his best if you don't have no weapons around him. So you can't base Sam Darnold off what you're seeing in the Jets. You know what I mean? He's a baller, bro. You got Justin Jefferson out there. You got Addison back. You got Aaron Jones in the run game. You feel me? They got a defense coached by Brian Flores. Man, they locking shit up, man. You understand what I'm saying? So they got it on both sides of the ball. You look at the Lions, who I think is the best team in football. Now, what? I don't know how different that defense is going to look without Aiden Hutchinson. I don't know. You know what I mean? But they're still powerful on both sides of the football. Very powerful. And then you look at the Packers. They 4-2 right now. They look pretty good. Jordan Love is back in the lineup. You feel me? They defense can go out there and get some stops when needed. And even if not, they can still put points up on the board. So me personally, it's the toughest division in football is no longer the AFC North. It's no longer the AFC North. I'm going with the NFC North. That's the Vikings, the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears. You know what I mean? Those are the Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears. And listen, the Bears got a winning record too. They got a winning record too, dog. You feel me? Like they not like I'm not saying, they about to take off and make a Super Bowl run or whatever the case may be, but dog, they have a winning record too. You feel me? And if I go to it right now, yeah, they third in their division. They 4-2. You know what I'm saying? Vikings 5-1, Lions 4-1, Bears 4-2, Packers 4-2. And the Bears got majority of their wins this year off of defensive plays. Their defense is cool. Their defense is not, it ain't locked down, but it's a formidable defense. It is. You know what I mean? And if Caleb Williams can go out there and get better with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift, you know what I'm saying? That's a team you're not going to be able to look over. So that's most definitely the most powerful division right now. Most definitely, you know what I mean? It no longer belongs to the AFC North. So that's where I'm at with that, you know what I mean? So you got Monday Night Football tonight. Bills versus the Jets. Bills versus the Jets is the AFC East division game. The Bills is 3-2. Jets are 2-3. We already know that Robert Saleh was fired from the Viking from the Jets last week. Coach Jeff Ulbrich, he stepped in as the interim head coach. You feel what I'm saying? So, who y'all got tonight? Me, I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking the Bills because I don't like how the Jets look. I don't like how Aaron Rodgers is off target. I don't like how, it's not enough, plays being made out there. You feel what I'm saying? I think Josh Allen is going to be able to come out here and because they've had Josh Allen has had back-to-back bad games. Back-to-back bad games, which knocked him out of the MVP race for me. So now this is his chance to get back in there. You know what I mean? But not only that, it's his chance to get back in the win column. You know what I mean? You don't want to go 3-3. You know what I mean? Then you tie with the Jets at 3-3. Well, they'll be leading the division because they beat you. You know what I mean? Now you dropped to second in the division. They don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But me personally, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play and being able to extend the play and make plays with your legs, which is what Josh Allen does. Aaron Rodgers cannot move the same. I think them knowing that, I think they probably will send pressure for Aaron Rodgers to try to get him moving around because he just doesn't look the same. Those throws, I said it last week on the show, those throws that he normally make when he ain't even got to have his back foot on the ground, them throws been off all season, bro. They've been off. He's made some, but I think he's missed a lot. You feel me? I don't think he has the wavelength with Garrett Wilson. And if they decide to take Garrett Wilson away, you understand what I'm saying? With a safety and a corner, whatever the case may be, I think it'll work. Mike Williams hasn't shown you nothing. Tyler Conklin, he's not a game breaker. You know what I mean? He's going to only fit in where, when others are getting off. The Jets, they can't run the football. They haven't been able to run the football all season. So me personally, I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking the Bills in a 24-17 ball game. Yeah, at MetLife Stadium on the Jets' home field. They're not good at home, especially at night games. They are below 500 on primetime night games at MetLife Stadium. They are so bad at that, and I don't think it's going to change tonight. I think the Bills go to 4-2 and the Jets fall to 2-4. And now it's going to be see if the Jets lose this game tonight. Because firing your coach says, okay, we fixed the problem. Let's go out here and win. That's what that means now. So if the Jets come out here tonight and don't win this game, now it's time to start looking at the players. I think they should have been done that, but they weren't going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. It's a franchise quarterback. They weren't going to do that. I said last week, when I seen that interaction in the media with them, with Robert Saleh saying he got to cut back on the cadences, and then Aaron Rodgers came back and said, well, how about hold the players accountable? Talking about the offensive line for jumping off sides for false start. I said, something going to happen. And like I said before, voila, it happened. He was gone. You know what I mean? So they better go out there and win the game tonight. Because if not, now it's time to start looking at the play, starting with Aaron Rodgers. I'm already looking at him. I already am. But it's going to be time for everybody else to go ahead and start doing that because Robert Saleh defense was doing fine. They was playing well, playing way good enough to go out here and win games. The offense just wasn't putting up the right production. Period, point blank. That's why I met with it with that. So I got the Bills tonight over the New York Jets. You know what I mean? And coming into this game tonight, me and Jordan had bets. Y'all know we always do the picks. I was 7-5 going into Sunday yesterday. Let me look at this real quick. Okay, Jordan picked the Chargers to win over the Broncos. He won that one. And he picked the Cardinals. He picked the Cardinals to beat, who did they play again? The Green Bay Packers. He lost that, so that's 1-1 for me. And he also picked Dallas to beat the Lions. And we know that was an all-out, complete blowout, obliteration, embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? In Jerry World yesterday, 47-9 on his 82nd birthday. What a birthday gift for Jerry. You know what I mean? So I was 2-1 over the weekend. So that takes my record to 9-6. 9-6. And keep in mind, people, I won the bet last season. So I'm off to a good start this season as well. I'm 9-6, 3 games above 500. And I take that it's a long season. So at the end of the day, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, man. You know what I mean? I thank y'all if y'all still watching. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Been on here almost an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, my guy Jordan, we'll probably see him again on Tuesday episode. Maybe more so Thursday. He's got some family things going on that he needs to attend to. Family first. Family first. You know, But like I said, for the ones that's watching on YouTube, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can maintain and be up to date with all things under the lights. Anytime we drop something, you will know it. Tell a friend to tell a friend, like, comment, subscribe, share. You know what I mean? For the ones that's listening right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, thank you as well. Appreciate you. We see the downloads. Appreciate you, and we thank you. You know what I mean? Keep listening to us. Keep following us. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at __ under the lights. That's 2 underscores. __ under the lights. Keep following. Keep watching. Keep liking. Keep listening. Keep subscribing. That's the show for the day, and I'm gone.
Under the lights, speaking of facts, double the price, yeah.